Every limit you think you have is only a thought, nothing more. The Stoics taught us, it's not events that disturb us, but our judgment of them. Train your mind and the world can no longer cage you. There is nothing more powerful than the way you perceive the world. It is not the situation, the setback, or the success that defines your life, it is your judgment of it. This is the essence of Stoicism. The Stoics believed that everything begins in the mind. If you can master your perception, you can master your reality. Life will bring storms. It will bring loss, failure, and pain. But none of these things carry meaning on their own. They are neutral. It is only when your mind labels them bad, unfair, too much that they gain the power to harm you. Epictetus taught that men are not disturbed by events but by their opinions about them. That truth alone can transform your life. It means that peace is not found in avoiding chaos, it is found in how you interpret chaos. A challenge is not the end of you. It is the beginning of your strength. A delay in your progress is not punishment, it is preparation. When you train your mind to see events as opportunities rather than obstacles, you rise above them. You break the pattern of emotional reaction and replace it with conscious response. That is power. But perception is not changed overnight. You must train it, just as you would a weak muscle. It starts with awareness. When something upsets you, pause. Ask yourself, is this really bad, or have I decided it is bad? Is this the truth, or is it just my reaction? Most of the time, you'll find that your mind exaggerated the situation. Your emotions ran ahead before your reason caught up. That's okay. Catch them. Bring them back. Reframe the thought. Turn it into something useful. If someone insults you, remember it is only an insult if you accept it. If a door closes, remind yourself maybe it was meant to. Maybe that path would have taken you away from your purpose. Train yourself to say, this is not happening to me. This is happening for me. That shift in language can shift your life. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor, journaled his way through war, illness, betrayal, and loss. But instead of collapsing under the weight of his duties, he wrote calmly, choose not to be harmed and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed and you haven't been. That mindset made him unstoppable. Not because the world didn't test him, but because he didn't give it the power to control his mind. Every person who has ever achieved greatness has mastered perception in some form. They saw rejection as redirection. They saw pain as a teacher. They saw the struggle as a season, not a life sentence. And they moved forward anyway. That's what training your mind does. It doesn't eliminate the storm, it makes you the calm within it. When something breaks around you, remember nothing is broken inside you. Unless you decide it is. That is your sacred space, your thoughts, your power. And no one, not the economy, not failure, not even death can take that from you unless you give it away. So the next time you are tested, don't ask, why is this happening to me? Ask, what can I learn from this? How can I grow? How can I use this? The moment you begin to see life this way, you are no longer a victim. You are no longer at the mercy of external forces. You are free. And freedom is the first step to breaking every limit you thought you had. Growth begins where comfort ends. The Stoics knew this deeply. They trained themselves to seek discomfort, not out of self-punishment, but because they understood that the mind, like the body, only grows stronger through resistance. To become resilient, you must first learn how to be uncomfortable and remain calm in the midst of it. Seneca, one of the great Stoic philosophers, was a wealthy man, but he often slept on the floor, ate the simplest food, and wore the roughest clothes. Why? He was preparing himself. He asked, is this what I feared? He deliberately experienced what others ran from, so that fear would lose its grip on him. This was not suffering. This was training. And in that training, he found freedom. When you voluntarily enter discomfort, you take back power. You are no longer controlled by your fears. You face them and say, I am stronger than this. In a world that constantly tells you to chase comfort, choosing the hard path is an act of rebellion and liberation. Most people avoid discomfort, They run from early mornings, from hard workouts, from hard conversations, from the discipline of routine. But comfort has a hidden cost. It softens your will. It weakens your edge. And slowly, it builds a cage around your potential. By stepping into discomfort voluntarily, you break that cage. You remind yourself that you are not fragile, that you are not here to merely survive, but to rise. The cold shower in the morning, the silence of meditation, the extra mile when you're tired, all of these things are more than physical acts. They are statements. They say, I do not run from challenge. I walk toward it. And in doing so, you begin to build something unshakable, a calm under pressure, a clarity under chaos, and a spirit that refuses to fold. Discomfort becomes your ally, not your enemy. You begin to realize that you can handle far more than you once believed. That hunger doesn't destroy you. That fatigue doesn't stop you. That criticism doesn't define you. Instead of avoiding pain, you understand it. You master it. Voluntary discomfort also creates deep gratitude. When you fast, food becomes a gift. When you walk in the cold, warmth becomes a blessing. When you push your limits, rest becomes earned. The Stoics used this practice to strip away entitlement and awaken appreciation. In doing less, they became more. In embracing hardship, they found joy. Most people wait for life to challenge them. But the Stoic way is different. It's proactive. You don't wait for the storm, you train for it in advance. Because when the real hardship comes, and it always does, you won't be caught off guard. You will have already built your foundation in the quiet hours, in the dark mornings, in the discomfort you willingly embraced. You will say, I've been here before. I've already suffered by choice. And I am not afraid to suffer now. This is how greatness is built. Not through ease, but through effort. Not through luxury, but through labor. To train your mind, you must first test it. And the most powerful test is not what life throws at you. It's what you choose to endure on your own. Every time you say no to comfort and yes to growth, you take one more step beyond your limits. So make discomfort your teacher. Let it humble you. Let it shape you. Let it remind you that comfort never made a warrior, only struggle does. Only effort does. And you are not here to play small. You are here to become unbreakable. There is a voice inside your head that speaks to you more than anyone else ever will. It comments on everything you do. It judges, questions, encourages, or condemns. And yet, most people never take the time to train it. They live their lives at the mercy of a voice they don't understand, letting it pull them down when it should be lifting them up. But the Stoics knew better. They knew that if you don't control your inner voice, it will control you. Marcus Aurelius, writing to himself in his private journal, constantly reminded his mind to stay disciplined, to stay calm, to focus only on what truly mattered. He did this because he knew that even an emperor wasn't immune to doubt or fear. The mind left unchecked is like a wild horse. It runs wherever it pleases, often straight toward fear, anger, or regret. But when trained, it becomes your greatest ally. It becomes the quiet, steady force that carries you through chaos. You must understand this. The voice in your head is not always right. Just because it says you can't, doesn't mean you can't. Just because it whispers that you're not good enough, doesn't mean that's the truth. That voice is shaped by old wounds, by fear, by the opinions of others, by past failures. And yet we believe it without question. That's the real danger, not that the voice exists, but that we accept it without resistance. To break your limits, you must speak back to that voice. You must challenge it. When it says, I can't handle this, respond, I've handled worse. When it says, I'm not ready, respond, no one ever feels ready. I move anyway. The Stoics trained their minds through reason. They paused. They examined their thoughts like a philosopher examining an argument. Is this useful? Is this rational? Is this leading me toward virtue or away from it? You must do the same. This is not about pretending that pain doesn't exist. It's about refusing to let pain make your decisions for you. It's not about denying fear, it's about denying fear the steering wheel. Your inner voice must be disciplined, not delusional, strong, not loud, clear, not emotional, and above all, It must be your own, not an echo of someone else's doubts. Controlling your inner voice means choosing your internal narrative with intention. It means starting your day not with passive thoughts, but with purpose. It means reminding yourself of who you are and what you stand for before the world tells you otherwise. The Stoics did this through morning reflections, through journaling, through silence. They knew that a man who does not prepare his mind in the morning will be ruled by it at night. When your inner voice becomes stable, everything outside you becomes less threatening. People's opinions lose their power. Setbacks don't shake you as easily. You stop looking for validation because you already have it from within. And when your mind speaks to you with calm, reason, and strength, your body follows. Your actions follow. Your life follows. This is the real work, not the external grind, but the internal mastery. Peace begins the moment you stop trying to control what was never yours to control. The Stoics built their entire philosophy around this truth. They divided life into two categories: what you can control and what you cannot. Everything else, every emotion, every choice, every action depends on your ability to make that distinction clearly and to live by it without hesitation. You can't control what other people think, say, or do. You can't control the weather, the past, or the outcome of every plan. You can't control how the world treats you. But you can always control how you respond. You can control your thoughts, your choices, your habits, your discipline. That's where your power is. And when you learn to focus all your energy there, you stop being a victim of circumstances, you become a master of your own life. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most powerful men in history, faced betrayal, illness, war, and loss. Yet in his writings, he constantly returned to this idea: you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. This is not just poetic wisdom, it is the foundation of inner freedom. Because when you let go of what you cannot control, your mind becomes clear. Your energy stops leaking into worry, blame, or regret. You begin to walk through life with a steady heart. Most of our suffering doesn't come from what happens, but from our resistance to what happens. We wish people were different. We wish things had gone another way. We replay the past or obsess over the future. But none of this changes reality. It only drains us. It distracts us. The Stoic learns to accept what is, fully and without resentment, not because they're weak, but because they are focused. Acceptance is not surrender, it's strategy. You don't waste strength on the unchangeable. You keep it for what you can change. You can't stop the storm, but you can choose your steps within it. You can't prevent loss, but you can choose how to honor what remains. You can't control the behavior of others, but you can choose to act with virtue, no matter what. That's the real power, not changing the world, but changing yourself in response to it. This mindset requires practice. Every day will test you. Someone will cut you off in traffic. A friend will disappoint you. A plan will fall through. In those moments, your training begins. Ask yourself, is this within my control? If the answer is no, let it go. If the answer is yes, then take action, not from emotion, but from clarity. This discipline of focus is what makes you resilient. Because no matter how chaotic the world becomes, your actions remain in your hands. No matter how unpredictable life is, your attitude remains yours to shape. And in that space between what happens and how you choose to respond, you find your freedom. When you live like this, people around you notice. You don't overreact. You don't complain. You don't waste time on drama or blame. You move differently, with calm, with intent, with peace. And that peace cannot be disturbed because it doesn't come from the outside. It comes from within, where your control lies. So simplify your mind. Let go of everything that is not yours to carry. Bring your full presence, your full strength, into the only place it matters, your own choices. When you master this focus, limits fall away. Because most of your limitations were never real, they were just distractions. Now you are free to act, to grow, to become the person you were meant to be. All by focusing only on what is truly yours, your mind, your will, your response. There is no progress without resistance, no strength without struggle. The Stoics understood that what stands in your way can become the way if you choose to see it that way. Every setback, every failure, every painful moment contains the seed of growth. But that seed only blossoms if you train your mind to respond with courage instead of complaint, with action instead of avoidance. Life will not go according to your plans. People will disappoint you. Opportunities will fall apart. Things you care about will break or vanish. And in those moments, your mind will want to retreat. It will say, "Why me?" Or "This isn't fair." But those questions serve no purpose. They keep you stuck in the problem. The Stoic doesn't ask, "Why did this happen?" The Stoic asks, "What will I do with this?" Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This is not just a hopeful mantra, it is a strategy for life. When something blocks your path, it is not the end of the road. It is a test of your creativity, your persistence, your strength. It is an invitation to rise. Setbacks can shatter you or shape you. They can close your heart or open your eyes. The difference is not the event, but your decision in how to face it. That decision is always yours. You can choose to become bitter, or you can choose to become better. You can shrink in fear, or you can rise with intention. Think of a blade. It is not forged in silence and stillness. It is shaped by fire, struck again and again. Without that pressure, it would remain raw metal, unformed, unproven. In the same way, setbacks reveal your true shape. They show you what you still need to learn. They strip away illusion and force you to face your weaknesses, your blind spots, your excuses. That kind of clarity is rare and priceless. This is why the Stoics embraced challenges, not because they enjoyed suffering, but because they understood what suffering could create. Pain refines you. It brings you face to face with your limits so you can push past them. It forces you to dig deeper. And when you do, you find strength you didn't know you had. Strength that cannot be taken away because it was earned. You've already survived moments you thought would break you. You've already rebuilt what once fell apart. And you will do it again. Each time a little wiser, a little stronger. Each time more unshaken. Because your power is not in avoiding setbacks, it's in your refusal to be defeated by them. And setbacks aren't just personal, they serve a larger purpose. They teach you how to help others. They make you more empathetic, more patient, more humble. Your wounds, once healed, become maps for those who are still lost. Your pain becomes service. Your story becomes strength not just for you, but for those who walk behind you. So the next time life knocks you down, don't just lie there. Breathe. Reflect. Stand back up. Not as the same person, but as someone new. Someone who has learned. Someone who has decided to use every piece of brokenness as fuel for greatness. That's what it means to be unbreakable. Not that you never fall, but that every fall builds something deeper within you. You were not made for comfort. You were made for growth. And growth requires resistance. So when the world says you've failed, you say, "No, I've trained." You look the setback in the eye and say, "Thank you. You've just made me stronger." Freedom is not something the world gives you. It is not earned through status, possessions, or recognition. True freedom begins and ends in the mind. The Stoics taught that you are free the moment you stop being ruled by things outside your control. You are free when your happiness no longer depends on what others say or do. You are free when your peace cannot be taken from you, not by loss, not by fear, not even by death. We often live as if we are waiting to be free, waiting for the perfect job, the perfect relationship, the perfect time. We tell ourselves that once things settle down, once we succeed, then we will breathe, then we will live. But the Stoic doesn't wait for life to cooperate. The Stoic chooses to live with freedom now, here in this moment, by mastering the only thing that can ever truly be mastered, the self. Epictetus was born a slave. His body was not his own. His time was not his own. Yet he spoke and lived as a free man. Why? Because no one else controlled his thoughts. No one else dictated how he saw the world. He said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." That is the foundation. The person who cannot govern their own mind will always be enslaved by desire, by fear, by opinion, by circumstances. You are free when you no longer need everything to go your way. When you stop negotiating your self-worth with the world. When you detach your value from achievement and root it, instead in virtue. You are free when you can look at your life exactly as it is, messy, uncertain, imperfect, and say, "This is enough. I am enough." That's not passivity. That's power. It's choosing peace over performance, substance over appearance. Living as if you're already free means saying no to fear-based living. It means you stop trying to fit into molds that don't reflect your values. You stop chasing things just because others do. You start making choices aligned with your principles, not with public approval. The Stoic lives in harmony with reason and nature. That means making choices that are clear, disciplined, and true, not based on impulse or insecurity. And when the fear of loss rises, because it always does, the free person remembers, you own nothing except your character. Not your car, not your house, not your body, not even your time. Everything else can be taken in a moment. But your integrity, your mindset, your effort, these are yours. When you live like that, with detachment and presence, life opens up. You are no longer burdened by constant grasping. You are grounded. This kind of freedom is not loud. It doesn't need to shout or prove anything. It's quiet, calm, steady. It shows up in how you walk through failure, in how you respond to disrespect, in how you move forward when things don't go to plan. The free person adapts, not because they are weak, but because they are unshaken. Their direction is guided by inner clarity, not external noise. To live as if you're already free is to stop waiting for permission. It's to give yourself the authority to live well now, to speak with honesty, to act with courage, to simplify your life, not out of lack, but out of clarity. To be content with little because you have everything you need within. This is what the Stoics taught, not a cold rejection of life, but a bold embrace of it. Freedom not from responsibility, but from illusion. And once you live this way, once you truly understand that you were always free, you stop chasing, and you start living fully, boldly, peacefully.